And in Portland, Oregon, if you're in Portland, Oregon and listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The nightclub Darcelle 15, where I got over 10 to 12 years of show business training, like I said, in preparation for this ministry, in Portland, Oregon, is the most popular entertainment spot in Portland. And it's not a gay bar. It attracts people, heterosexual people and family people from the suburbs who celebrate birthdays and anniversaries and special occasions and bachelorette parties and all of that. Darcelle's is the place to go. But anyway, but the club here, Darcelle 15, has been here for 43 years now?
Yeah.
Something like that.
43 years.
And
1967. And we started on a little tabletop over in the corner of the room. And
it was a little neighborhood tavern then.
Well, it was a Skid Row tavern. Let's put it where it was.
Yeah,
it was
ultra. I like to say it was ultra Skid Row.
Oh yeah, it was winos in the doorway, but you know they were our friends, so we had no trouble at all with them. We had to move them out of the way every now and then so customers would come through. And we were a lesbian bar at that time.
Right, that's right. It was Demas Tavern.
Demas Tavern, and we were a lesbian bar.
And how did the naming the club Darcelle 15 come about?
Well, that was way after when our shows started. That was in '74. I was Empress in '73. Actually, I lost in '72. I won in
Running for Empress.
For Empress. And I had no name in '72. And so Roxy and Mame sat down and said, "We can't call you Madame Demas. We can't call you Walter. You're in a dress."
You were Madame D for a long time.
Yeah, Madame D. Madame for Demas.
In the big D for Demas.
Right.
And so she was Madame D for a long time.
And then you tell them what you finally came up. You guys came up with the name.
And so.
Weren't you doing melodramas here then?
No, I was doing one outside of the club.
But he had done them outside the club, and I had seen a lot of melodrama in resort places, like Jackson Hole and up in Montana. There was a lot of melodrama there, and I thought that was really cool. Maybe we should. Had the type of atmosphere then that looked like that's what we should be doing here is melodrama. And then we decided, no, that's not quite what it's all about. And so anyway. We got this image put together, and we got this show, but we still didn't have a name for.
How did you get the idea of doing female impersonation shows?
Our friend Tina Sandell was did shows at the Magic Garden.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah,
and invited us over there, and we went over.
Well, Mame had said at one point, David Hamilton had said because we were buddies and all three of us used to hang out. He'd said, well, you ought to do something crazy and wild that Portland hasn't seen before, and certainly hadn't seen a place like ours here. So he said, do something crazy. Well, I'd seen a show in San Francisco a couple times called
Pinocchio's, yeah.
And I think you were familiar with Pinocchio's.
Yes.
And I was impressed. I couldn't believe that first of all, I'd never seen a female impersonator, and so I was impressed. My gosh, here's these guys all dressed up and being fun and crazy, and I really liked that show. I thought it was very artful and entertaining. So I told both David and Hamilton and Walter at that time, and I said, we've got to think about this female impersonator thing. And I don't know anything much about that, but we both knew how to perform and knew theater. Darcelle and Walter at that time had been in a lot of local theater and he always played doctors and lawyers and did male roles.
Portland Civic Theater, yeah.
One attorney, one doctor.
Anyway, this was a new experience for him too. And so my thought was, okay, he's a big man, he's tall, he's broad and everything. He should try to be a character and should be some kind of a caricature. And so I said, the more if you're going to do this female impersonator thing, you've got to be so big and so broad that people can't help but notice you.
Exaggerated
And
glamour.
Exaggerated
That's right.
glamour.
Mhm.
Too much makeup, too much jewelry, too much hair, too much wardrobe. And I said, believe me, they'll remember that, and you want to be remembered. That's one of the first rules of show business number one, is to do something where the people are going to remember you. So that's what we came up with, and we designed that look. And then the next thing was a name. How do you call this new image? Okay, well, name again, David had said, well, it looks French. It looks French to
It
me.
looks
It
French.
looks French. And I thought, French. Oh, by golly, I remember when I was working in Las Vegas.
You were a choreographer in
I
Las
was a
Vegas before you came to
choreographer.
Portland, right?
Before I came to Portland. And I'd worked with a lady, an actress who had just come over from Paris called Denise Darcelle.
Denise Darcelle, I remember her.
And she
Yeah.
had just completed a movie at that time too called Westward the Women.
Westward the Women,
which
yeah.
she played a big role in. So I liked her really well, and I thought she was lots of fun. So I thought French, Denise Darcelle.
Denise.
But I thought Denise. No, Denise sounds kind of petite and small, and that Denise doesn't fit this new figure we've created here. So I said, okay, Darcelle, how about Darcelle? When he said French, I said, oh, French Darcelle, okay, that's it. And anyway, I called him Darcelle, and we felt that it was, she spelled her name Darcel.
Right.
And we felt that it should be a little bit more French in the spelling. So we did Darcelle at the end, which really made it doubly French. Anyway, she introduced herself at the next showing as Darcelle. And
But you have to remember that I had to call and ask you how to spell it.
yeah.